Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
A Janesville woman is left fighting for her life as she was shot multiple times early this morning. As Rockton residents are given the green light to return home, they begin the process of cleaning up their homes. But many residents say there's still a long road to recovery. Today marks a new federal holiday, Juneteenth. It celebrates the emancipation of those who were enslaved in the United States. We'll take a look at how people are celebrating locally. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michele. Rave. Alexis Carpello has tonight off. Rockford police are asking people to avoid Marquesano Drive and South Main Street. Officers are investigating a report of shots fired. One gunshot victim walked into Swedish American Hospital. According to police, they did not confirm if it was related to the incident. We have a crew on scene right now. We'll keep you updated as new information arrives. A 58-year-old Janesville woman is currently in critical condition after getting shot early this morning. It happened near the 400 block of South Ringgold Street. Janesville police responded to this call around 1:30 this morning. When they arrived, they found the woman with multiple gunshot wounds. She was taken to Mercy Health Trauma Center. The incident is currently under investigation. However, investigators do say the incident was an isolated matter between two people who knew each other, and there's no threat to the public. Rockton residents continue to deal with the aftermath of a massive chemical fire. Although an evacuation order, which was keeping some people from their homes, has been lifted, several families started off their weekend working to clean up their properties. Dylan Saraki caught up with one of them, and Dylan, they tell you they're expecting a long road ahead.
Yeah, that's right, Michelle. Although they believe the worst of the situation is behind them, they're expecting it will take weeks or even months to return to normal life.
Doesn't seem to be any damage, nothing, pretty much just a little debris in the backyard. Other than that, same old place.
Rockton resident Wayne Desjardins says his mother and father-in-law were two of the people who were told to evacuate early Monday morning after they heard explosions coming from the Chemtool plant.
They said it actually rocked the house, it shook the house.
The couple spent 5 days in a hotel room before finally returning to their home Saturday morning. Desjardins tells me, although the family is glad to be back, they're now facing down a lengthy cleanup process. Especially
with the rain we had yesterday, I told my daughter who lives in the area to make sure she covered her garden so no debris that was on the leaves and the trees got into her garden and contaminated it. I am going to be cautious. I have to cut the grass here in the next day or two, and I'm going to be cautious and wear a mask when I do. Because I just don't know what's in the grass. Even if they pick it all up, there's still going to be particles there that are going to be chopped up finer.
Officials have been testing the air quality in and around Rockton throughout the week and have not detected any chemicals. But Desjardins says for now, he's still erring on the side of caution.
I just told my mother-in-law that she should probably just stay indoors for the next few days until more is, known. Right. Just to be on the safe side. Other concern is my in-laws here and other people on the street are on well water. What the implications are there with contamination.
The EPA continues to test nearby groundwater wells for contamination. So far, the agency has not detected any contaminants in the water. Michelle?
Thank you, Dylan, for that report. This is a reminder, if you live near the plant, take pictures of your house and property. These can be used for insurance claims and any potential damage assessment. State and local officials hope to begin those on-site assessments Tuesday. Once you get home, you'll need to address any food or water left out, like produce sitting on a counter or water left in your pet's bowl. If you can't clean it before use, toss it out. When cleaning your home, make sure to wear protective clothing, long sleeves, pants, gloves, and a mask to protect you from inhaling dangerous particles. Use a mild soap or detergent with warm water to remove soot and smoke from walls, furniture, and floors. We've also got new recommendation for cleaning backyard pools and gardens. The Illinois Emergency Management Agency says for pools, remove any debris and skim the pool. Then recirculate the water through the filters and check the pH levels. As for gardens, use gloves to get rid of any big pieces of debris. Produce can be safely eaten after thoroughly washing and rinsing. Leafy vegetables should be soaked in a 10% vinegar solution to lift any soil particles from the greens. And a reminder, if you have debris in your yard or garbage, Liberzol's ChemTools parent company has hired Clean Harbors to help with your cleanup. You can call Clean Harbors at the number on your screen. We have that posted on our website too. That's where you can also find the claim form to request reimbursement for personal expenses tied to the evacuation, like hotel stays. If you missed any of that or are looking for more, the Winnebago County Health Department has cleaning directions. We have a link to those in this story on mystateline.com. Investigators still don't know what caused the fire. Rockton's fire chief say it does not appear to be suspicious or criminal. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Explosives have been on scene. Juneteenth has been officially recognized as a federal and state holiday. Locally, politicians as well as advocates are rejoicing as they say recognizing this monumental day in United States history is long overdue.
And as you're celebrating your fathers out there, just make sure to be weather ready. Keep an eye on the radar. We'll have more details on tomorrow's severe potential coming up in the forecast.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Alexis Cartello, David Greenberg, and meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Today is a new state holiday. The Juneteenth flag now waves over the state capitol, where Governor Pritzker recently declared June 19th as Juneteenth National Freedom Day. Mark Maxwell is keeping you connected to the Capitol.
History is really shocking.
Abraham Lincoln's hometown of Springfield named Juneteenth a city holiday. And even though he was the great emancipator,
it happened here.
A timeline on display outside the Lincoln Museum illustrates the painful effects of racism, from slavery to black laws to race riots to redlining, an official policy denying loans to black homeowners in certain parts of town.
The pink part sort of looks like World War II a little bit, but it definitely looks similar to what it is today.
Inside Lincoln's presidential library,
behind me to my left, sits a rare copy of the Emancipation Proclamation.
Governor Pritzker and black leaders celebrated Juneteenth on Wednesday, declaring it a paid state holiday for government workers and teachers.
We're doing this because not enough understand what Juneteenth is all about.
The Illinois House elected Chris Welch as its first black speaker, 203 years after the state was founded and 245 years after America declared independence from British rule.
July 4th in this country was always celebrated as America's Independence Day, but black people didn't feel free.
I am the descendant of enslaved people only 4 generations removed.
Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton said slavery was personal for her family.
Those in my bloodline did their work in the fields of Mississippi from sun up to sundown, brutalized, being torn from their children, forbidden from learning to read, spending all day, every day working to build wealth for those who owned them as their personal property. And I think about how they must have prayed for our freedom.
Those prayers were answered January 1st, 1863, when Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, but slavery didn't end overnight.
It took more than 2 years after Lincoln signed it before it would be enforced in places like Texas at the edge of the Confederacy and the Union.
Those held as slaves in Texas had not yet learned of their new freedom. It wasn't until 2 years later, when Union forces reached Texas, that they learned that their chains had been broken.
Dr. Maya Angelou said, "The more you know your history, the more liberated you are." Juneteenth National Freedom Day will help ensure every Illinoisan knows our history.
With this new law, no longer can a child grow up in Illinois without learning about Juneteenth in school.
This is why this is so important to teach to our young people, because it will blow their mind. We don't know a lot of this. We do not know a lot of the history, of American history, our history.
Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell.
Juneteenth celebrations also happen locally at Sinisippi Park. This marks the 31st celebration. Organizer Tommy Meek says this was certainly a long time coming, but says this is a step in the right direction, as Juneteenth was recognized not just on a state level, but on a federal level. The celebration included live performances, food, as well as recognizing black-owned businesses.
People have to understand what my ancestors went through in this country. They were slaves for 246 years, and then they got their freedom in 1865. That's a long time to be enslaved. So we need a lot of help coming out of slavery, and we still need some help economically. But I think the country is realizing the error of its ways, and I think we're coming around and we're going to make it a great place to live for everybody.
If you missed today's celebration, don't worry. It will continue tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m. You can enjoy a live Juneteenth gospel tribute. The warm weather might come to an end tomorrow for Father's Day. Meteorologist Marino will tell us more about potential thunderstorms as well as the best way to get some grilling done. You're watching Eyewitness News at 5.
Now, your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Marino.
It was a warm Saturday across the area. We had temperatures climb into the upper 80s and low 90s this afternoon. In fact, Rockford's high of 94 degrees marks the 13th time just this month that we hit the 90-degree mark or higher. But as we take a live look this evening over downtown Rockford, mostly sunny skies. In fact, much of us seeing mostly sunny skies as we now roll into the evening hours. 89 in Rockford, 86 in Rochelle, 84 in Freeport, 88 in Savannah. Gusty winds this afternoon becoming a little lighter now. You can see winds out of the northwest for much of us, right around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we stay quiet out there with mostly sunny skies. We have cloud cover and even a stronger storm system way out towards the west. You can see it's bringing thunderstorms to portions of Colorado up towards Nebraska and eventually moving into northwest Kansas. That's the same storm system that's going to be bringing us the chance for thunderstorms for Father's Day and also the potential for severe weather. So if you have any plans for Father's Day, get them done early or make sure during the afternoon to keep an eye on the radar and be weather aware, because afternoon time we are going to see that first round begin to move in, and then the second round, which will bring more of a punch to it, it's going to be moving in as we roll into the late afternoon and evening hours. Just this afternoon, the Storm Prediction Center did upgrade the southern portions of the state line, including portions down towards central Illinois, to an enhanced risk for severe weather. That's level 3 of 5 in the categories for severe weather. Now, this is on Father's Day. You can see the other half of the state line in the slight risk for severe weather. So what we're anticipating tomorrow is 2 rounds of thunderstorms. The first one going to be lifting in with that warm front from the south. Now, damaging winds and large hail are going to be the main threats from late morning up until mid-afternoon. The tornado threat, it's isolated at first and more towards the south where there's a better environment and more spin in the atmosphere for tornadoes to form. The early afternoon to late evening threat with the cold front, it's interacting with a couple of boundaries. That's going to have all modes of severe weather possible, so you definitely want to keep an eye on the radar throughout the day tomorrow, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. So let's take a look at that using Futurecast. You can see as we head into tomorrow morning, cloud cover is going to be increasing ahead of the first wave that moves in from the west. This one with the damaging winds and also large hail threat, that pushes through by mid-afternoon. Then you can see with the cold front, we have a separate wave of thunderstorms, and that's going to have all modes of severe weather with it. So that's going to be pushing through late evening, and then we should quiet down and then even cool down as we head into the start of the work week. So what you need to do tomorrow, have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings. Turn up the volume on that weather radio, your TV as well, and your cell phone. That's all good ways to get watches and warnings, then know your safe place and have that severe weather kit ready to go. That cold front that passes through tomorrow evening is going to cool us down from the upper 80s Father's Day down into the upper 70s and then low 70s by Tuesday. Back to you.
David Greenberg's in next with sports. The Hononegah Indians were down in Joliet trying to bring home their first ever state championship in baseball.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
A 26-2 record ranked as high as number 4 in Class 4A in the state of Illinois. It's been an incredible season for the Hononegah Indians baseball team. Today, they look to bring home the program's first ever state championship, but they had to go through Plainfield East in the semifinals first. Our Scott Leber was there in Joliet. He has more on this story.
The semifinal game was a matchup of Hononegah's great hitting lineup against some superb pitching by Plainfield East. Plainfield East has 3 pitchers on its roster who have committed to Division I colleges. The guy who started this game for the Bengals was Notre Dame commit Brady Lauk. The sophomore lefty looked like a D1 guy. He struck out 9 of the first 12 Hononegah batters he faced. Plainfield East got to Hononegah starter Ryan Anderson in the top of the second. Center fielder Caden Dyer blasted his solo home run to make it 1-0. The Bengals tacked on another run later that inning. In the top of the third, Dyer added this shot down the line to his earlier home run. That drove in another run. Plainfield East went up 4-0. Hononegah finally broke through against Lauk in the bottom of the fourth. Braden Sales' single was Hononegah's first hit of the game. The next batter was catcher Noah Goddard, and for the third straight game, he delivered a big blast, a 2-run homer. That made it a 4-2 game. Suddenly, Hononegah was back in it. But the Indians managed only one more run off of Lauk. In the bottom of the seventh, the Indians faced another one of Plainfield's D1 pitchers, Christian Mitchell. After giving up a leadoff single, he set down the next three Indians. He got Bryce Goodwine to line out for the final out. 5-3 was the final.
What was it like up there facing those two quality pitchers?
They're great pitchers, actually. All we did, we battled the whole game. We gave everything we could, and today just wasn't our day.
There's a bitter taste in my mouth. We were hitting the ball at the end. We were piecing balls up, and, just didn't drop.
I feel that it was a winnable game for us, and hats off to them. They got the job done, and we just fell a little short.
In Joliet, I'm Scott Leber.
In the third place game, Hononegah played O'Fallon High School. It was really tight until the Panthers pulled away in the sixth. The Indians trail 4 with just an inning left to play. The Class 3A boys track and field state finals were also today. The lightning fast ERAB 4x100 relay that had a lot of success this year ended up coming in 15th place with a time of 43.48 seconds. Their basketball standout Marcarius Biggie Luster came in 6th in the 400 with a time of 49.89 seconds. Guilford's Atiq Mohammed finished 6th in the long jump with a distance of 6.76 meters. The Cubs have scored 3 runs or fewer in their last 7 games. Let's see if they could wake the bats up for the weekend. Last night, Adam Duvall had a monster game with a grand slam and a 2-run homer. He wasn't done today. This one carries out to right. That's a 2-run homer and puts the Marlins up 3-0. Whatever Adam Duvall is doing, sign the Cubs up because he goes yard again. That's 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in 2 games, and the Cubs bats are just still asleep. They drop another one, 11-1. That's it for sports, so we'll be right back.
Joey is back with one last look at our forecast, so what's up?
Yeah, we have a potential for severe weather tomorrow, so if you do have any Father's Day plans, it's going to be best to keep an eye on the radar and be weather aware. We're pretty quiet for now, but we have that severe weather moving in tomorrow. The first round, late morning, mid-afternoon, and then the second round moving in as we head into the late afternoon and evening time frame. But that cold front really cooling down temperatures as we head into next week. We're talking 70s for the first time this month, Michele.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back at 10.